friendly Balinese people. We've all had a great time here, we really have. Our thoughts, though, are with the people near the volcano in Java, those displaced at the moment. But here in Bali, we're at the HSBC BWF World Tour finals. 4 finals complete and just one more final to come. It is the Olympic champion Viktor Axelsen in his 5th final at the end of year championships up against Kunlavut Vitidsarn of Thailand. So Viktor Axelsen finishing top of his group and had a rematch against Lakshya Sen in the semi-final stage. In fact, they were the only 2 players that ended up in their group because sadly we lost former champion Kento Momota and Rasmus Gemka in their very first matches. They both played a couple of points and then retired. So the semi-finals were repeat matches from the group stage. But Viktor Axelsen equaling the record of the most number of men's singles finals at the end of year championships, equaling Lee Chong Wei's 5 finals by competing in his 5th final here today. So as I was telling you about the draw, the bottom half of the draw, Vitidsarn reversed the result of the Group B match earlier in the week against Lee Si-ja, the All England champion. In fact, he lost to him in the very first match on Wednesday. Or his very first match, I should say, not the very first match. So Diraj Gunadari from Mauritius will be our umpire for this one. And Mohammed Salman from Malaysia, the service judge. But here, the Olympic champion, the 2-time former champion at the end of year championships, Viktor Axelsen in his 5th final in only his 6th appearance at the season-ending finale.
And Kunlavut Vitidsarn again.
His opponent, Kunlavut Vitidsarn from Thailand. A man ranked only 23 on the world ranking at the moment. This will be a 4th meeting between these 2 players. As you can see, in all 3 previous encounters have been won by Viktor Axelsen in 2 straight games. The last time they met was also in a final. It was the final of the Swiss 300 event in Basel earlier this year. And in fact, that Swiss Open, the only final prior to this that Vitidsarn has contested so far this year. So Axelsen has won the toss and he's chosen to start this near side of the court. And he couldn't have been much quicker in choosing ends, could he? I think that's what he was hoping for.
It happened the other day as well, when I was calling him on the other court.
Well, it was at the end of season championships that it all started for the 27-year-old Viktor Axelsen. It was called the Super Series then, and he won in 2016 in Dubai when contesting his 7th Super Series tournament final. And since then, he's gone from strength to strength. He's become world champion. He's now an Olympic champion. He's been European champion, and this is his 10th final in only his 12th tournament of 2021. That is astonishing. In his first match against Gemka, as you can see, Gemka retired after just 6 points. And then on Thursday he beat Lakshya Sen. No match against Momota because Momota withdrew. And the semi-final, a rematch with Lakshya Sen, and it was even more comprehensive the second time they met. So to Kunlavut Vitidsarn, who qualified in the last qualifying position for these World Tour finals. He was the 8th player on the World Tour ranking, making his first appearance here, and he is the first player from Thailand to contest the men's singles final at the end-of-year championships. At just 20 years of age, has been as high as 21 in the world ranking, but as I was telling you, went down to 23 earlier this week. First match, as I was saying, lost to Lee Si-ja, the All-England champion, then beat former world number 1 Kidambi Srikanth, then beat Toma Junior Popov in 3 games. That was a good match, and reversed the result of Wednesday's encounter against Lee Si-ja in the semi-final yesterday.
Ready to play.
So, 2 award winners on court facing each other. Viktor Axelsen was named as the male player of the year for 2021, and Kunlavut Vitidsarn was named as the 2021 Eddie Chung Most Promising Player of the Year award. So both award winners.
And it's very promising to be here, isn't it?
It's more than promising to be in the final of the World Tour finals, isn't it?
That's what I mean.
Well, Axelsen, in his second final in 2 weeks, he won the Indonesia Open, beating Loh Ken Yew in the final.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Viktor Axelsen, Denmark. And on my left, Kunlavut Vitidsarn, Thailand. Viktor Axelsen to serve. Level. Play.
So the Olympic champion and 2-time winner of the end-of-year championships,
One.
Viktor Axelsen, gets the first point on the board against reigning and 3-time world junior champion Kunlavut Vitidsarn. Oh, that's a tremendous smash.
2. Love.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. Isn't that what you say?
That's you're getting my lingo. I'm not sure my English is the best, Morton. You shouldn't be copying me.
Oh, you're the best to me.
Oh. Well, some sort of a wobble there from Viktor Axelsen, trying to perhaps guess which way or distract his opponent as to which side he was going to try and defend.
Yeah, Axelsen is doing the only right thing.
1.
Adding on the pressure and pace from the very beginning. Vitidsarn really have to extend the rallies as much as possible. Make it a physical contest.
Yeah, that was a sort of half smash and no power on the downward shuttle for Vitidsarn to feed off.
Yeah, all about placement.
Yeah. I don't know whether you caught any of these semi-finals yesterday, Morton. I was calling the matches with Steen.
Yes.
But I thought that Vitidsarn was helped considerably by some very uncharacteristic errors from Li Xijia.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. But I did like the way that the young Thai player, there was no celebrating until the final point had been won. He was very calm in
He's a
between.
calm person.
Yeah.
And for a 20-year-old, I think he's very, very strong physically. That's nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Threaded it down the line. All about placement.
5. Players on court. Right.
Missed it.
Yeah.
3, 5.
Well, there's been one player who has won the men's singles title at the end of year championships when they hadn't won a Super Series or a World Tour event that year. And that happens to be...
Sindhu.
No, Viktor Axelsen. I'm talking men's singles.
Oh, you're talking men's singles, yeah. Okay.
That was Viktor Axelsen.
Yeah.
Because, of course, that was
The
his
first time, yes.
first ever Super Series title.
Because I also think that Sindhu had the same in 18.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Because that, the World Tour Finals title, is her only World Tour title.
Vitidsarn is working his way into this match, really holding a very tight ship and making sure that every single shot is counting, moving his opponent around, playing with a solid defense.
7, 3.
Well, not only is Viktor
4,
Axelsen
7. Change.
equaling the record of 5 finals at this particular event, I think we ought to make mention that this is his 40th career final today.
How many wins?
23.
23.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's over. 8, 4.
But that's all tournaments, including international challenger events.
Yes.
That sort of...
Yeah, in the early days.
The development
Yeah.
tournaments as well.
Out.
It's over.
There was a big puff
5, 8.
after that rally from Axelsen.
Yeah, I think Vitidsarn is making great investment here, really trying to keep the rallies going as much as possible. And Axelsen, you know, might go really for the lines and perhaps starting to make mistakes. I know this was a mistake, but he's played a few other really good winners as well.
Mm.
6-8.
And there is a clever lift by Vitidsarn, making sure that Axelsen is getting nothing to feed off. That lift way high, making sure he's back into position and getting Axelsen nothing to really feed off. That's good play. Overdone it.
7.
Well, I think a lot of players do make the mistake of trying to see whether they can pass Axelsen with faster lift and attack and clears and all that, and you can't do that. You have to make sure that he's standing on the back line when he's playing his shots.
That's well judged. Oh, he's challenging that. He won't win that. I saw that as clearly not. So it doesn't really matter. As I said earlier, how I saw it, it matters what the instant review says.
But that's the same.
You put me under pressure now about our 100% record. Yeah, it's clearly not.
It was.
One
It
challenge
was
remaining.
clearly long.
Service over. 9-7.
But I don't think on a strategic level that was the best challenge to take, because that means that Axelsen is just getting more rest.
It's wide. And Axelsen did have a cold the first week we were here in Bali.
I actually thought about it.
Good serve.
Yeah, very good serve.
There's another one gone long of the back line.
11,
And
7,
Axelsen goes to the mid-game interval with a 4-point advantage. Well, Vitidsarn has a coach here. Axelsen does not.
Must be a little concern to Vitidsarn that he's played these two out on the back line against the drift, because he needs to have really good length on his shots.
Yeah. Did I see Axelsen holding his back after that last point?
I did.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Players on court. Eleven, 7, play.
Oh,
Brilliant.
that's really...
What skill.
Yes.
It's over. 8, 11.
I have to admire that Axelsen actually, being so wrong-footed, still got the racket to it and
Yeah.
got it over the net.
Pushes long.
9, 11.
That's
It's
wide.
wide.
10, 11.
Yeah, Axelsen's nervous, you know.
Chances are. slipped.
Yeah.
Give the shuttle to your opponent. Wipe the court, please. Service over. 12-10.
Yeah.
He
Right
lost-
leg.
Yeah, he lost his footing on the right leg. That's enough, isn't it? It just
Yeah.
takes such a little thing.
Yeah.
You have to be in perfect balance as and when you're playing your shots, and if not, then it's very tricky.
Play. Service over. 11.
So suddenly, Viktor Axelsen is finding it easy, difficult to control his length
Yeah.
of his shots.
He's played that tricky shot again.
Yeah.
Service over. 13. 11. Wipe the court on both sides.
Well, you don't have a clue what he's thinking, do you, this young man from Thailand? Very cool and calm. Certainly on the exterior. What he's like on the interior, I don't know.
Well, we will have many more years to get to know him. He's a good player. He's a strong, physically player. He will be around for many years.
Good rally. It's in.
It's in. It's in.
Service over. 12-13. Change. Wipe the court.
This can be rather fascinating.
Yeah. I think that Axelsen, not only, I think his nerves have been brought on by the fact that, you know, he finished number 1. Vitidsarn finished number 8 on the race to Bali. It's sort of, he's so expected to win this.
Yeah, but you know, it's always a new day, and
Yeah.
players are playing well. And I think for Vitidsarn to beat Lee Si-cha, I think is a very fine result.
Mm.
That
It,
you know, command respect.
you do command respect, and he did play well, but it wasn't the best match that I've seen Lee Si-cha play.
No,
that's for certain.
I can believe that.
Service over. 14.
That's a chance to take from Vitidsarn. One of the most difficult shots in the book.
Around the head straight drop,
Yeah,
slow drop.
Slow drop. It's not easy.
Have to have wonderful racket head control.
Which I think he has, but
Yeah.
it's still top of the tape, not going over. And he's got to make sure.
Another one goes along of the back line.
12.
The court will need to be mopped after the dive from Axelsen.
Court. 16, 12. So give the shot to the opponent quickly.
Vitidsarn wants the shuttle changed. Axelsen says no.
I think it was a good move by Axelsen to pick up that shuttle. I think that was a good move. Sending a strong signal, once again going out of the back line. And that must be
17, 12.
to some concern to Vitidsarn, that on the slow side or the slow end of the court, he's playing that many out the back.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get a lot worse when they're changing ends.
The other one.
Yeah.
Gone long. How many is that? That's about
18,
5, isn't it?
12.
Or maybe
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah.
Five straight points.
At a very important time in the
Yeah.
in the game.
Well, that's a lovely angle from the Olympic champion.
19, 12.
Make that 6 straight points.
The good thing for Axelsen in this situation is that he's not using a lot of strength and effort on playing these smashes. It's all placement.
Yeah.
Here's some court.
And one have to say that that opportunity for Vitidsarn simply just slipped away from him.
Oh, that was going wide, wasn't it? Close.
It was close. I think it stayed in.
So well worked by Viktor Axelsen.
12.
And a new shuttle.
And on a run of 7 straight points. Now 8 game point opportunities. That's wide as well, that's a shocker. Opening game 21-12 in favour of the Olympic champion Viktor Axelsen.
First game won by Viktor Axelsen, 21-12.
So he'll be pretty happy with that opening game. 22 minutes and 21-12.
Yeah, I think that panned out a lot better for Axelsen. That, you know, at 12-13, it did not look that decided. Now it looks like, okay, this was a walk in the park, 21-12, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. No.
เราไปแอนตีเยอะมากบางครั้งเราต้องลงทุนเราทีละ3แต้มไม่งั้นเราจะไม่รู้เลยว่า
So we're going to see a different Vitidsarn. I think it's quite interesting. You know, he's got to go a little bit more on the attack because he's playing the fast end of the court. Can't play a similar style like this against Axelsen on the far side, I think that would be kind of suicide.
Seconds. 20 seconds. Here's a coach.
So Viktor Axelsen will go into the good, yeah. You're not allowed to test the new racket. I suppose you can before play gets underway, before love all play from the umpire.
I actually think it was the shuttle he was.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, that's gone long. Oh, he's challenging on the first point of this second game. That is a little rash.
Especially when it's on the back line.
Risk and reward. And it was too big a risk.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. One love. Play.
Morton, you were saying about, you know, at 13-12, I think it was, in the opening game, that it really was anybody's game.
Yes.
And then Viktor Axelsen just romped through, literally, without dropping another point. What happened? Was it a sort of combination of Vitidsarn making errors, he hit several out the back, or, oh, there's another challenge here, surely not.
And he's going to lose it.
He will, because I saw that as clearly wide.
And Axelsen also smiled. Ooh, that's closer, isn't it?
Challenge unsuccessful.
But no challenges left.
Remaining.
So was it just Axelsen's experience or his opponent's inexperience? What happened?
I think that played a part, but I also think that Axelsen played with more patience suddenly. He did not go for the same kind of shots, he did not take the same kind of chances. And then I think on top of that, Vitidsarn was not able to control his length of his shots.
Yeah. Oh, indecision. Yeah. And that indecision cost him dear.
And he's got to watch out, it's not going to be one-way traffic now, Vitidsarn. Axelsen can lift a lot more freely from that side.
Challenge now from Axelsen. I think Axelsen's got a better chance of winning that one.
He's got a good chance of winning it.
You're looking down that line.
Yeah.
No, you caught the line. Well done, line judge.
Challenge.
We've blown our 100% record, Morton.
One challenge remaining. That is over.
I'm so sad now. I don't think I can sleep tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem that you were talking about, Morton.
Yes, but I think that Vitidsarn is trying to adjust his game. I think he's actually trying to play more shots downwards direction, trying to challenge a bit more at the net, not playing that much to the back of the court. He's got to make use of the back of the court now and again, but it's got to stay in.
Yeah.
But he is making a change to his game. But I'm not sure it's enough.
Another one goes long.
6-1.
He's got one chance now. He's got to keep everything down until he finds proper length.
Yeah.
He's got to take that out of his game for the next, let's say, 3 or 4 minutes. Keep everything down, go for the attack. Don't lift it too much.
He's doing it at the moment in this round.
Yeah,
Oh, well, there's the clear.
But he found the length. And Axelsen is playing with lots of patience.
Brilliant. Great
7.
forehand defence. Blocking it across court, guiding it across court. Look at that.
Wipe the court.
That's a super shot from the tall Dane. Well, one feels if Axelsen gets another couple of points now, that it's virtually no way back for Vitidsarn.
Yes, it's now or never
Yeah.
already in this match for Vitidsarn. That's wide.
8-1.
Oh, crikey. That's a good lift from there.
Yes, very, very good lift.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's, I think it's also one of the differences between these two players is that Axelsen make his attack count,
Wipe the court.
but when Vitidsarn is attacking, there's not enough bite in it, it's not sharp enough, it's not close enough to the lines.
Yeah.
It's lacking some bite, there's
Yeah.
sting in it, and that's something he's got to learn. When he's having these chances, he must try to make them count.
Yeah.
He had one smash early second game, cross court from his forehand that went out on the sideline. That was a good one. Apart from the fact that it actually went out, but the whole principle of it.
Yeah.
Indecision.
Yeah. Can't afford that. 10-1 lead now to the two-time former champion. Yeah, he looked down at the line,
Yeah, he did.
looked back up at the shuttle. Yeah,
See, that's better.
nice. Yeah.
That's better.
It's over. 2-10. Change.
You know, sometimes I think with young players, that, you know, he wouldn't have expected coming into this week that he'd be in the final.
Definitely not.
And you know, when you find yourself so far down, there's a tendency to sort of think, oh well, never mind, I've done better than I expected to do, and to almost give up on the final.
Yeah, it's seen before.
Yeah.
That you were quite happy with the result already.
Silver,
Yeah.
11-2.
11-2, the advantage to Viktor Axelsen. And the reason I brought that up is because it looks to me as if Vitidsarn has said to himself, you know, I'm not going to win this today. There's too many errors flowing now, perhaps losing his way a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to view it, even the last 10 points or whatever is going to be played, that it's an experience, and it's something that he's got to bring into his game. He's got to learn from it and say, okay, next time I'm in a similar situation, this I would like to try to do.
Yeah.
But as I say, I think really one of the things that Vitidsarn needs to work on is his attack. His basic game is good, nice pace, he's doing a lot of good things, but his attack needs that sting.
Yeah.
Play.
Another one pushed long.
12-2.
Oh, crikey, that was close. Well, he hasn't got any challenges left anyway.
Oh, anticipated by Axelsen.
Yeah.
13-2. Of the court.
But I also think sometimes, you know, especially this situation, we haven't seen Axelsen follow up on any of his smashes from the back, you know, and then go for the kill at the net.
Yeah.
Not once in the whole match. But every time Vitidsarn is trying the most difficult shot to play, which is the cross. If it's working, it's making his opponent move and all that. But why doesn't he just block some of them straight? You know, stay in the match and see what happens. Why always try to play the most difficult shots when your opponent is not following up anyway?
Well, that's why I say, you know, maybe he's fallen into that trap of the inexperienced player. But, you know, you and I know that sport is all about taking the fleeting opportunity. We don't know. We think he's got huge talent, but we don't know that Vitidsarn will ever be in the final of the World Tour finals again.
No.
You have to make the most of your chances.
Seize the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely
Silver,
ready to pounce on that,
14.
Axelsen.
3.
Yeah.
3.
That's, you know, when you feel that relaxed and comfortable as Axelsen is doing now. Look at this shot. It's so tight, and it's a shot he would never have played had it been 14 all.
Yeah. Another one goes long.
16-3.
Oh, this is turning out to be the most one-sided final. Oh, gosh, that was close.
It's very close.
That can only have been long by a whisker. Missed it.
Silver, 4-16. Five, 16. Change.
No, that's good.
Missed it.
But that was a good play by Vitidsarn. That was
6,
much more,
16.
you know, towards the side of the court, close to the line.
Well, he didn't miss many smashes in the Olympic final, did he, Axelsen? I thought his attacking play was
Superb.
yeah, better than superb. Yeah,
Silver,
like that.
17-6.
That was one of the bad smashes. It was not on the line. If we're talking about the Olympic final.
Yeah, it was astonishing. Hit line after line after line.
18.
3 points away from a third title at the end of year championships.
Silver, 7-18. Change. Wipe the court, please.
Well, for a men's singles player to win 2 titles in 2 weeks is pretty special, and it looks very much as if Axelsen is about to do that. Oh, I don't believe it. Between the legs, he was going to leave this.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's won the point as well. That's outrageous.
Silver,
Yeah, that was a good one.
7.
Here it comes.
Silver, 8-19.
Drifted long, and his match point opportunities
Silver,
for the Olympic champion to win
Match
his
point,
3rd
8.
title at the end of year championships. It's wide.
Game.
And he's done it. Delight for the Dane. Sinks to the floor. Well, totally dominant in the final today against the 20-year-old Vitidsarn.
Match won by Viktor Axelsen.
Viktor Axelsen.
12,
Well,
21,
what
8.
a year he's had. Quite extraordinary. Today was his 10th final in his 12th tournament of the year. His 7th title of 2021. Yeah, a little message to his fiancée and his daughter, I'm sure, back home. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
21-12, 21-8. So, a very comprehensive performance once more. 43 minutes in total. And a third Super Series Finals or World Tour Finals title. Well, he needs another one to equal Lee Chong-wei, but let's not take anything away from Viktor Axelsen when you think that at the start of the trip here in Bali, he was struggling with a cold, struggling with his breathing. We heard him coughing and spluttering on court. Winner of the Indonesia Open last week, winner of the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals this week. Well, I said recently, I think it was after the final of the Denmark Open, there was no doubt that he was the best badminton player on the planet. And I think he's reinforced it during his time here in Bali.
Agree, completely agree with you, and I think it's only so befitting that he's now #1 on the world ranking, because I think that has been sort of a sore thumb somehow, because he's been winning and winning and winning, but could not overtake that first position.
Yeah, and that's because the rankings are not completely unfrozen.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. He deserves the #1 spot. He is clearly the best badminton player in the world right now. But I sincerely hope we see an awful lot more of Kunlavut Vitidsarn of Thailand. But for a third time at the end of year finale, Viktor Axelsen stands on top of the podium. So Paul Eric Hoyt, the president of the BWF, the Badminton World Federation, making the presentation of the medals. The silver medal to Vitidsarn. And now the gold to Viktor Axelsen. A 24th career title for the tournament.
Another one to the collection.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fabulous time here in Bali, hasn't it, Morten? I think we have to pay tribute to the organisers who have kept us all safe, kept us all happy. They've organised activities, yoga classes, and you've been swimming on the beach. been a wonderful time for all the
It's been
players.
fantastic to be here, and the freedom we've had due to the fact we had so much land around us where we could, you know, roam around. I
Yeah.
think that was really, really nice.
Yeah. So, Viktor Axelsen, who for the first 3 weeks here in Bali had his family with him, has ended on a high. So as he poses for the photographers, we look back on finals day, which started with women's doubles, and the beaten finalists from the last edition became the champions here in Bali. Kim So-young and Kong Hee-yong beating Matsuyama and Shida, coming from down in the second game to win 21-14, 21-14 in 44 minutes. Then it was mixed doubles, and the defending champions, Puavaranukro and Teurat Tanachai, won their third title in 3 weeks here in Bali against the Olympic bronze medalists Watanabe and Higashino. It was a very impressive performance by the Thai pair. Then An Se-young really gave the reigning world champion Pusana Venkata Sindhu a bit of a masterclass today, because she too, like the Thai mixed doubles pair, won her third title in 3 weeks, 21-16, 21-12 in under 40 minutes. Then men's doubles, and the final was a repeat of the previous 2 weeks' finals here in Bali. And Hoki and Kobayashi, the World Championship silver medalists, beat the world number ones Gideon and Sukamolio. The only final today that went the full distance, 21-17 in the deciding game in an hour and 1 minute. Then, as we've just seen in the men's singles, Viktor Axelsen, the Olympic champion, in his 5th end-of-year championship final, won his 3rd title by beating the 20-year-old Kunlavut Vitidsarn of Thailand. 2 straight games, as you can see, 43 minutes, but 21-12, 21-8. That was convincing. So as I was saying, we really have had a fantastic time here in Bali. Thanks to all the organisers, we've had an absolute ball. Thank you, Bali. Thank you to Morton Frost and all of us here on the production team. Until the next time, bye for now.